Alright, so this is another fanfiction idea that was actually voted on over on my Patreon. Subscribe to that if you haven't already. And basically what this is another crossover, and in honor of the new Scream film, in honor of the new upcoming Scream film, yeah, this is a Scream crossover, and people voted on it being Gravity Falls, which actually, like, surprised me that, again, like, it's another crossover that, like, won... That's the one that won the votes. I mean, I'm not shocked, but at the same time, like, there were others. There was about three other things people could vote on. Hang on, I will pull it up right now. Yeah, we're so professional on this channel. Basically... the other three along with this Scream crossover vote was Batman. Yeah, Batman got 0 votes. Again, Batman does not get any love on Patreon. I'm surprised. The one that came in second place was Hey Arnold by 3 votes, and Has Been Hotel by 2 votes. So, yeah. And I actually might come back to do a Hey Arnold Scream crossover, because I do have an idea for that. But I do want to do... And I'm pretty sure some of you guys want to see how I would do a Hey Arnold and Scream crossover. Anyway, so let's talk about this. Let's talk about this Gravity Falls Scream crossover. So this story basically takes place after the events of Gravity Falls, and is set... after, I guess you could call it now, like, Scream 4 and Scream 5. Like, it's now set in between that continuity. And this is set after the series end of Gravity Falls. And it's more centered around Wendy during her time at school. And she's just kind of waiting for summer, and she's hanging out with her friends. It's a good time. And then they find out a other kid that was in high school with them, another student, was brutally murdered the night before. And, of course, everyone's, like, thinking, holy shit, that's, like, yeah, we encountered monsters and stuff, but this was, like, another person, like, gutting someone. Like, how the newspaper describes this just brutal murder. And people at first are like, maybe it's holy shit. Because, again, everyone knows what happened in Gravity Falls, so everyone's like, holy shit, did someone wake up a demon, or was it a monster? Is it a sign Bill's coming back? But of course, Wendy's, like, curious herself, and of course she wants to be, like, figure out the mystery for herself, obviously spending so much time around the Pines twins, that she's basically, like, goes to, the house, because, again, it's Blubbs and Derlin. They're not the best detectives. So she basically goes there to investigate, and immediately her first thought is, what the hell am I doing? Like, her whole thing is, what am I doing? Like, I don't know how to work a case. This isn't fucking Law & Order. I don't know what I'm doing. I need to go. Obviously, Stan and Ford are gone, so it's just me and Seuss, maybe Pacifica, and Mabel's friends. It's literally my mystery shack gang right now. So Wendy, of course, is, like, really out of her element. And she calls Dipper and Mabel and is like, hey, I don't know if you heard about this, but there was a murder last night that occurred, and we don't know what happened. Like, there was a murder, it was a student at my school, they got gutted like a fish, and everyone says, like, it was a demon attack, and people are blaming, like, the monsters, the creatures in the forest, but, like, I think it's something else going on, and I think it's a person. And to which Dipper goes, this sound, like, describe to me what happened. She's like, I didn't go to the fucking coroner, I didn't want to look at a dead body, so she basically tells him how it was described in the news, and he goes, oh, shit. And to which Wendy's like, what's oh shit? I don't like oh shit. And he's like, do you ever hear about the Ghostface killings in because obviously they live in the Pines live in Piedmont, and it's the same state as where the Scream movies took place. So obviously it was big local news, and it probably became national news along the way. So and they're like, this sounds a lot like the Ghostface killings that happened 3 different consecutive times in California. I don't know if you got a copycat or something, Wendy, but you should be scared. And while this is happening, her phone cuts off. Like, her phone connection cuts off. And at first she thinks, oh shit, the internet died. But no, what happened was she's getting a call from somebody, and she hears, hello, Wendy. You want to play a game? And of course Wendy's like, oh, okay, I've heard about you. Like, you must be Ghostface. And he's like, oh, I'm Ghostface number 5 or 6. Loses count. But, like, do you know, so I take it you know how this game goes. He's like, yeah, it ends with your ass getting killed. And, of course, this plays out. Wendy gets attacked by Ghostface. She actually fights him because, of course, Wendy's no damsel in distress. Although she is final girl material, she's no damsel in distress, so she beats the shit out of him. Ghostface gets away, but it's how he gets away that's interesting, because this Ghostface is a lot different. This Ghostface actually uses magic, is actually using, like, dark magic. Like, he just vanishes in, like, a cloud of black smoke, or he can actually literally teleport. And they're like, I don't think the last Ghostface could do that. Yeah, of course, so this new Ghostface has found artifacts in Gravity Falls and utilizes them. Because of course someone would do that. If someone was in, like, if there was a killer in an area where mystic stuff is known, of course they're going to take that and use it in their killings. So, yeah, now you're dealing with not only a new Ghostface, you're dealing with a Ghostface that is essentially, you know, harnessing the power of dark magic as well. So they're literally a supernatural threat now. And of course, the question remains of who is this Ghostface? Like, who is this new Ghostface that is tormenting Wendy? Because they're gunning for her now. And of course, all of her friends are on the chopping block as well. Because let's be real, Wendy and her friends, Wendy's obviously final girl, and every final girl... Sorry about that. But yeah, like I said, if Wendy is the final girl, her friends are basically the perfect cannon fodder for whatever horrendous, horrible, awful shit that may ensue. So yeah, all of Wendy's friends are also, not only that, Wendy's also looking into them as suspects as well, because Dipper's basically guiding her through all of this and basically telling her, look, if you're going to have to look into this, you have to look at this as like everyone's a suspect. I mean, the one, like, the last few killings that happened were directed at Sidney Prescott, this woman named Sidney Prescott, and all of the killers were connected to her in one way, shape, or form. So yeah, I hate to tell you this, Wendy, but your friends are also equally, you know, suspects as well. So Wendy now has to, like, not only protect them, but also, like, keep her, you know, basically, like, keep her guard up around them as well. So that's the constant, you know, fear that she's running into. It's just this, it's just this constant back and forth between the two, these two kind of paranoias that are running through her head. And it's really messing her up, because the only people she can trust are really Seuss. Pacifica she's keeping as the outlier, because obviously she kind of views Pacifica as a rival to her relationship, her long-distance relationship with Dipper, and Mabel's friends who she can trust. Like, okay, Mabel trusted you guys, it's cool. So about this time, you know, looking into this, she's like, okay, if we're really gonna figure out who is this new Ghostface, we kind of need to find that we need to go back and look at the other previous killings. So they have to get in contact with Sidney Prescott. So they managed to get in contact with they managed not so much Sidney first, but they get in contact with Dewey first. And basically Dewey is like, they don't tell, like, Candy brings up the whole point of, she basically, when they're telling, like, when they're about to tell her about tell him about Ghostface, he's basically like, should we mention the magic stuff, because I feel like he's gonna freak out or not believe us. And to which everyone's like, good point, leave out the magic for now. So they say, look, I know you were involved with the Ghostface cases, and you were involved with all of that, and there's this copycat killer. I'd even reference the MTV series. Like, there were copycat killings in another place, but they were but those were outside of what happened here with Dewey and Sydney and all that. So yeah. So eventually, Dewey does lead them to Sydney. He does lead them to Sydney and basically tells them, Sydney basically is like, if whoever this is, it is definitely someone close to you. And someone who does have an axe to grind, and someone who really likes to play with horror movies. And Wendy's like, son of a bitch. And so she gets up, like, they're middle of talking with Sydney, and Wendy leaves, goes back, and basically just punches out Robbie. She's like, who the fuck else would you be? Like, where'd you find those mystic artifacts, Robbie? And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm not the killer. I'm not the killer. And about that time, Wendy's like piecing it all together. It's like, you were mad when I broke up with you. You have a pretense for being this, try-hard who loves horror movies. And now that, there are mystic stuff out there, you wanted to collect it and use it to either get me so scared that I'll run back into your arms or kill me. Sick fuck either way. So I'm turning you into the cops, but not before I break every bone in your body. And he's like, no, I'm not the killer. And at that point, the real Ghostface, the actual Ghostface killer, shows up, shanks Robbie, it goes up his spine, and just starts ripping out guts from behind. And so Wendy and Ghostface do combat one another. They do fight one another, but the problem is, by the end of it, she does rip off the mask, but the person's face is shrouded in shadow, so she doesn't get a good look at him, and she knocks him off the fight basically leads to a bridge. Wendy kicks the killer off a bridge after yanking the mask off, and they fall, but then he's like, I didn't hear a splash or anything or hit the ground. Maybe he just teleported away with all the magic. So she's left with all these questions and basically telling Dipper by the end of it is like, I don't know who he was or if it was even a dude. Maybe he was a demon. Maybe it was a dark spirit someone resurrected. Maybe someone resurrected one of the other killers to use. But then again, why? And Dipper's like, yeah, that really, sometimes mysteries just... You can't solve every mystery. That's the problem with mysteries, is that sometimes they just remain unsolvable. And Wendy's like, I guess you're right, so I guess I'll see you this summer. And he's like, oh yeah, I'm pretty sure you will. We're coming back. Mabel and I are all excited to come back. And yeah, Wendy hangs up, and Dipper's like, I love her, but she is so gullible. Hangs up, Dipper is the Ghostface killer. Yeah, if you didn't figure it out already, I'm pretty sure someone by watching this was like, yeah, he's gonna make Dipper Ghostface. So basically, in all of this is that Dipper was Ghostface, and how you may be wondering, well, how is he teleporting, getting from California and bouncing back to Oregon? How does that even work? Well, he had been collecting artifacts, not just from Gravity Falls, but from everywhere. And not only that, that was him the entire time as Ghostface. The Dipper that Wendy had been talking to this whole time was one of the surviving clones of Dipper from the copying machine. Yeah, Dipper was basically using that last clone as a cover while he teleported to Gravity Falls and was killing everyone. Why, you may ask? Well, Dipper's got a bit of a psychosis to him. It's something basically what had happened was that after getting a taste of Bill's power while he was possessed, he's like, yeah, I wanted more of it. And also, I kind of don't like the idea of leaving my girlfriend with her ex and surrounded by all these other guys, because Dipper would literally think like that, of being that kind of obsessive. So he's like, I took the Ghostface persona and was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna kill everyone and make her, basically have Wendy more, not only just have her more committed to our relationship, but also she's gonna get smarter and more protective of me and also of our relationship. So I win. so it's basically the biggest fuck you ending I've ever written. It's the biggest, like, just the largest fuck you ending I've ever written. I'm kind of disgusted with myself, but, like, at the same time, I'm proud, like, I'm weirdly proud of it. So yeah, there you go. That is my Scream Gravity Falls crossover. Hope you all enjoyed this. This was a lot of fun to come up with, and I want to thank everyone who voted on Patreon. And if you haven't already, go check out my Patreon. Click the link below, and you too can be a part of it. Check out some exclusive videos. That's where the Halloween Kills review is going to be, and that's where the first episode of Chucky review is right now. So anyway, once again, hope you all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.